Hello my friends and welcome back to Dragon Age Origins. Today's video will be a compilation of all of the rumors I have been collecting throughout this series. Enjoy!
I hear news from Denerim that Lowgain has been declared the new regent. It makes sense, his daughter being the queen. Anything else I can get you? I hear tell they held a funeral in Denerim for King Kaelin. The Grand Cleric called for a full day of mourning and there was a procession a mile long passing by the brazier. It's too bad they don't have a body to properly burn. What happened to him at the hands of those creatures, it's unthinkable. Thank the Maker we didn't lose Lowgain at Ostagar. He pulled his troops out just in time, so it said. Without him, we'd be lost. Some folks aren't happy about Lowgain being named regent. There are rumors he had something to do with the king's death. Isn't that the most ridiculous thing you ever heard? The Darkspawn killed him, sure enough. If Lowgain couldn't save the king from that end, then nobody could. With King Kaelin dead, the throne falls to Queen Anora. She's made her father the regent, however, at least for now. I think Kaelin's father, old King Merrick, would have approved. I heard from some travelers that something bad might have happened in Redcliffe, overrun by Darkspawn, maybe. There's no word from the village at all. Merchant friend of mine said he encountered someone fleeing the place and there was nothing waiting for him there but death. He wisely turned around and came right back. I hear that Lowgain, the regent, is calling for new levies of troops. He wants to rebuild the army we lost at Ostagar. Thing is, there's not a lot of spare men to be found. Out of Dragon's Peak, there's press gangs roaming around, grabbing any free man they can lay their hands on. I hear the Dwarven King is passed on. Old as he was probably poisoned or assassinated. That's how the dwarves normally go out, isn't it? I've heard a lot of stories of bands of Darkspawn roaming the countryside far north of the Kokori Wilds. They just seem to appear out of nowhere and disappear just as fast. There's knights from Redcliffe spread all over Ferelden on some kind of mission, but I hear that they're starting to become rare to find. Maybe they all went back to Redcliffe. More likely they got tired of searching for something that can't be found and abandoned their search. I wonder what Earl Eamon is going to do without any knights. Something's going on at the Mage's Tower at Lake Callanhod. Nobody knows exactly what, though, and the Templars aren't saying. Exactly what we need, isn't it? Let's hope the Mages are just cooking up something to deal with the Darkspawn. Somebody should be, after all. There's not just Darkspawn in the Hordes, you know that? There are people with them, folks who are sick with the blight and their minds are all twisted and mad. I heard tell of a man meeting his own brother on the field, yet when he called out to him, his brother didn't even recognize him and just attacked. People are disappearing all over the country. Folks on the road say they are seeing wagons abandoned, belongings left in the middle of the road with no one to be seen anywhere. Remote farmholds are left empty. Horses left without riders, and no corpses to be found. The Darkspawn are taking them, there's no other explanation. I hear from folks travelling the East Roads that there's werewolves in the Brazilian forest, actual werewolves. They haven't been around since the days of Dane and his ilk. Some hunters who range into the Brazilian forest say that a Dalish clan there has fallen to some kind of sickness, the blight most likely, poor sods. There's a nasty rumour going around that the Grey Wardens are evil and that they worship the Archdemon. They're the ones that caused the blight. They were getting upset, see, that there was no use for them anymore, so they summoned up the Archdemon to do their bidding. It would explain a great many things. There's talk that King Kaelin was cheating on the Queen and she found out about it. That's why Lowgain abandoned Kaelin at Ostagar. I've heard a rumour that the reason Queen Anora has never produced an heir is that she's barren. It's a curse from the Maker for bringing a commoner into the royal line. Until someone of royal blood is put on the throne, there will never be an heir. It seems the royal line of Callanhod has been broken for good now. I heard a strange rumour the other day. King Kaelin was not really Merrick's son, you see. Merrick's real son is hidden in the bowels of Denerim's palace and has been since he was born. I suppose they feed him cakes all day to keep him content. Maybe he's simple. Or a mage. Merrick's real son, a mage. Can you imagine? Unless he sold the young Orlesian woman that married Arl Eamon. I hear tell she tried to poison her husband so she could marry his brother, Bantegan. Maker's honest truth. With a defeat at Ostagar, it'll be inevitable that the Darkspawn hordes start moving north soon. They have no one standing in their way, do they? I'm hearing many tales of corpses clawing out of their graves. All over. Not just people either, animals too. Just yesterday, a farmer told me about the kitten his daughter had buried behind his barn. Little thing came back to life and crawled up, mewling as loud as you please. His daughter was delighted, at least until it just about chewed her finger off. Strange days, I tell you. The crafters of the Pearl Brothel are threatening to close their doors if they aren't finally recognized as a true guild. Ha! Can you imagine? As if the men weren't blue enough. The Darkspawn have attacked Lothering. I don't think everyone even had fled by the time they came either. Word has it they swarmed the entire area, making off with prisoners and burning down the buildings, and then they were gone. Just as quick. I wonder if there's anyone left. I heard some chanters were going to head down south, maybe to try to find some survivors. I'm not holding out hope myself. Nobody seems to know where Arl Eamon is in all this business. If he were here, he could put a stop to all this talk of civil war for sure. There's another royal army already gathering in the east, but from what I hear, when it marches, it'll be headed west, not south towards the Darkspawn. Can you imagine? If the Benorn stand up against Lowgain, we won't need the Darkspawn to destroy us. We'll do their work for them. More Grey Wardens were supposed to come here from Orlais, but I hear they got turned back. Considering all the questions surrounding what happened at Ostagar, it's just as well. It seems that some of the bands just won't accept Tyrn Lowgain's orders. There's too much talk still of King Caelin's death and questions about what happened. You'd think with the Darkspawn knocking on our doorstep, people would be more likely to stand together, wouldn't you? It's said that the city of Highever is full of troops sent by Tyrn Lowgain. There's been rumors of a revolt, maybe even one that killed the Kuzlan family. There's news out of the Mage Tower that the Circle of Magi had a close call. Demons got out, but the mages were able to overcome them, though not without a lot of damage. I know mages bring such terror upon themselves, but I have to admit I'm glad we'll still have magic to wield against the Darkspawn. I hear rumor that Orlesian forces that were coming to help us fight the Darkspawn have been turned back at the mountain crossing. You'd almost think we could use their help against those monsters, though part of me is glad we won't have Ferelden full of Orlesian bastards again. Our Wolf has gone to Denerim to plead his case with Tyrn Lowgain, I hear. West Hills has been hit hard by the Darkspawn, and Wolf wants the fighting over the throne to stop. There's terrible news. Everyone is talking about a battle in the north between Lowgain's men and Ban Bronick. The ban was utterly crushed. Someone told me that he was meeting with Lowgain to talk terms, but I don't believe it. Surely Lowgain would never attack someone attempting to parley. Ban Serlek has announced he's siding with the throne. That's not surprising considering his lands border Lowgain's. He probably fears what Lowgain might do to him if he turns. There's news come out of Redcliffe at last. Seems that Arl Eamon has come down with some deadly sickness, probably the blight, and he may even die. If he does, that probably means no one else can stand up to Tyrn Lowgain in the Landsmeet. Rather fortunate turn for Tyrn, no? It's said the North Road Inn serves a shepherd's pie containing actual shepherds. Seems the innkeeper has something against the flocks being brought too near his own fields. Habron, daughter of the Earl of Southreach, has spent an exorbitant amount of her father's coin buying puppies. No one knows what happens to the puppies, and she buys a new one every week. Tyrn Lowgain has announced that whatever happened to Ban Bronick will happen to any other nobleman who doesn't live up to the oath he swore to serve the throne. There's a lot of folks angry about it. Some of the Benorn who weren't saying anything are now saying that Lowgain is trampling on their rights as sovereign lords. Seems like more fighting is inevitable at this point, doesn't it? Sad state of affairs. Arl Urien wasn't truly killed at Ostagar. his son, Lord Von, hired Antivan crows to kill his father before he ever reached the battlefield, only to first be killed by a mob of elves himself. A freehold not far from here was found deserted the other day. Darkspawn came out of nowhere and made off with everyone. Not a body to be found. Some people say they eat the ones they capture. Maybe that's why they come at all, because they're hungry. Some people say it's worse things they need. Stories are circulating about a Grey Warden forming a new army. Not Lowgain, not the Banorn, but something else. Oral Howe says this new army would just add to the chaos, but nobody's listening to him anymore. You wouldn't know anything about that, I assume. Huh? I thought not. That's what There's been a battle out at Winter's Breath. Several of the Banorn banded together and fought against Lowgain's men. Maybe 1,000 on the field, all told. Tyrn Lowgain won the day, it said, but there were heavy losses on both sides. It's a fight for the throne, just like in the old times. Queen Honora issued a plea to the Banorn to stand down, lest there be a repeat of the Winter's Breath elsewhere. I don't think they're listening, though. Many of them think Honora isn't even the one really speaking. They say the Queen does what her father tells her. Can't say I blame them. There's wonderful news. Arl Eamon has been cured of his strange illness, and not only is he better, but he's also called the nobility to Denerim to settle the succession. Seems he's found some unknown son of Merrick's, of all things, and he says he should be the rightful king. I just hope they finally get to fighting the Darkspawn. There's outrage over what Tyrn Lowgain did to the hunters out of Oswin, letting a man starve, helpless. I think Tyrn Lowgain meant that to be a lesson, to make everyone think twice about continuing this fight. It's going to do exactly the opposite, you ask me. It seems a group of Lowgain's men were ambushed yesterday near Highover. I don't know who did it, but the men were hit while they were camping for the night. A whole lot of them taken by surprise. Their tents were set on fire with arrows, and I hear 24 died. Nasty business. The dwarves have themselves a new king, I understand. One chosen by a Grey Warden, too, if you can believe it. A lot of people are hoping this means they will help us fight the Darkspawn now. There's been another battle. A bunch of Banorn met Lowgain at Lacus Valley, and from the sound of it, the Banorn outnumbered them. Tyrn Lowgain is a force to be reckoned with, though. Just ask the old legions. I hear the Banorn were routed. It's a convincing victory for the throne. I wonder if that will settle the issue now. Somehow I have my doubts. I've heard some strange word out of the Brazilian forest that Dalish elves are being called together to form some kind of army. And it's to help us, not attack us. Doesn't that beat all? When I heard that, I thought for sure we were done for. The Banorn are on the run now, and there's no way that they can force Tyrn Lowgain to resign the throne. But how the Tyrn is going to raise a proper army now is anyone's guess. The blight sickness brought by the Darkspawn is spreading faster than anyone thought. Several sources say that it's even here in Denerim. From what I hear, there's an outbreak in the elven alienage in the city. Others tell me that's not true. Still, it's a frightening thought. There are soldiers throughout the valley now, and Tyrn Lowgain arrested 3 bands. But I hear there's common folk rioting throughout the kingdom. No one will accept the Tyrn as the regent now. Can you imagine that? A month ago he was a hero, and now I'm beginning to wonder if the rumours about him are true. There's a rumour going around that Tyrn Lowgain was being paid by Tevinter slavers who were taking elves from the Denerim alienage. It can't be true. Why would Tyrn Lowgain do such a thing? The thought of slavers here in Ferelden, it seems almost barbaric. That's what I've heard on the road, anyhow. Take it for what it is. Some folks are angry that Tyrn Lowgain was allowed to become a Grey Warden, considering what he's done. Some of the Banorn are still saying he should hang. I think most people are relieved, though. Lowgain is a hero who saved us from the Orlesians with King Merrick, and we'll never forget that.
And that wraps up today's video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you again tomorrow with another new Dragon Age Origins video.